Hey guys, DragonEye13 here, and I wanted to do something a little bit different, because I feel like in my videos, one of the things I definitely need improvement on is sort of this one-way communication thing, where I'm just talking to nobody, basically. And I feel like I could improve on that, because I feel like I'm, stuttering, and, taking too long to think of things to say. You're probably hearing it right now. So, I thought to help with that, I might do these little rants and rambles about just whatever I feel like talking about at the time. So, it's largely going to be completely unscripted. It's just going to be me going off the top of my head about whatever subject I feel needs talking about at the time, or whatever I feel like talking about at the time, rather. So for this first one, I felt like talking about a couple games going that are going to be released relatively soon. Relatively being in quotation marks there, I suppose. That I'm personally looking forward to, and there's three right now that I'm watching the release dates like a hawk, and those are Final Fantasy 15, Resident Evil 7, and Persona 5. And Persona 5 is kind of a weird one because technically it's already out in Japan though, and we're not getting it in America for another couple months, so that sucks. But first off, Final Fantasy 15. At the time of this recording, it's about 30 days before it launches. It might have hit 29 when I wasn't looking. Yeah, I do these things in the middle of the night, so I think it has switched to 29. But I am really really looking forward to this one because I am a huge fan of the Final Fantasy series. Like, I've been playing these games my entire life. So of course I'm going to be here for the next main installment. That's not an online MMO I have to pay a monthly fee for. And the funny thing is about this game is I didn't care for it at first. Like, when it was first unveiled as unveiled. That's weird. Unveiled as Versus 13. I thought, eh. I mean, okay, looks like an interesting concept, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. And I'd be hard pressed to tell you exactly what about it I didn't like. I mean, maybe it was the modern fantasy thing was rubbing me the wrong way. I don't know. But it's like the more we saw of Versus 13, which wasn't much. Like, this thing was practically vaporware for the longest time. But the more we saw of it, the more I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Cool set pieces. I don't care. And even when it was announced as 15, I just thought, well, okay, whatever. It seems almost like a little bit of a cop out to suddenly make this 15. Like, I thought maybe they were doing that because they were desperate for sales for it or something. But then I played episode to Sky, and let me tell you, it had me from the beginning. When you see all the guys in the tent waking up, struggling to get up, moving the phone alarm around, and just generally like bantering with each other. Like, I don't know, something about that intro just kind of struck a chord with me. I'm like, okay, you got me, you got me, because I have been there, man. I have been on road trips with friends, and like five of us cramped into this one tiny ass motel room. Oh man, that opening spoke volumes to me. And then the gameplay itself was okay. I mean, I liked exploring around, and that's kind of a weird thing to say because I usually don't really like open world games that much. I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but I don't know. It's like a lot of the like open world type RPGs I've played before, none of them really grabbed me. Like, I played Fallout 3, got kind of bored with it. Played, which one was it? Skyrim. That was the one. Played a bit of that, got kind of bored with it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just having a bad like selection sample, I guess. But I don't know. This open world, I didn't get tired of wandering around in it. I guess it helps that you're with a bunch of companions instead of like by yourself, which a lot of Western RPGs seem to kind of do, from what I've seen. Like, you might have a companion once in a while, but you're mostly on your own. Anyways, and I love exploring the open world and like finding side quests and like just generally like looking around, and I found that really fun. And then the combat was, I mean, I wasn't feeling it. It was it was hold a button to attack. Occasionally you can input a direction to like change it up, but it wasn't that interesting to me. Well, it wasn't interesting to me at the time. I'll admit I warmed up to it a bit, but I don't know. Maybe it was my lingering resentment. Is that the right word? I guess spite would be the better word of me just like hating Versus 13 just for the sake of hating it, I guess. Maybe that was lingering a little bit when I first played it, and that kind of soured my expectations. But you know, the more I saw of 15 as like it was being developed and they were releasing videos, and it, you know, shoutouts to Square Enix. They've been very cool about being open in the development of this with their active time reports and all that. And like, they're not afraid to show off old builds of it and say, you know, this is what we got so far. It's not the greatest, but we're working on it. You know, kudos to them. That's actually really cool. But you know, the more I saw this, and like I watched driving, and like it's amazing. Like one of the most, when I was like catching up on all the various aspects of the news of the game, because it was a long time where I wasn't following it. As I was catching up on all the news, I was like watching all the trailers and like all the combat videos. Watching the driving just blew my mind, and I was like, oh my god, this game is amazing, and I want it so bad. And it's like, of all the things, the driving is what sold me. I don't know why, but it just, something about it just kind of clicked with me, and I'm like, yes, that is exactly what I want. And yeah, it's almost out. It was delayed for 2 months at one point. You know, they originally announced a September 30th date, which, according to my research into it, that was decided a long-ass time ago, like that specific date. But then as they were getting close to it, they got a master build done, they said, you know what? We can do better. We can make this better. They delayed it for 2 months. And, you know, a lot of people were upset about that. I was too. But it's also not that big of a deal because I've been through way worse delays. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Or a couple minutes, probably. But I've played Episode of Sky and the Platinum Demo so much now. I have, oh my gosh. You know, I want to say 8 hours in Platinum Demo. And that seems like a lot, and it is. But I don't know, I just found that fight a lot of fun to do. And the way the combat changed the Platinum Demo felt so much better. It felt more responsive. It felt like I was actually doing more instead of just holding attack and occasionally pressing the defend button. You know, it was just, oh, it was so good. And there were so many like little nooks and crannies to explore in that demo. It's, I know it's like a glorified tech demo, really, when you look at it, but oh, that was so much fun. I love that demo. So, in Final Fantasy 15, I'm gonna play the ever-loving hell out of that game when it comes out. Like, oh my god, I cannot wait to sink hours into that, because it reminds me, seeing all like the mob hunts and like this huge world with like a bunch of places to look around in that you're probably never gonna go in the main story. It reminds me of Final Fantasy 12, and I love Final Fantasy 12. Speaking of which, Zodiac Age. Looking forward to that, but they haven't given a solid release date for it yet, I don't believe. But yeah, fucking, I love 12. I love just the vastness of the world, I guess. And again, it's weird for me to say that because I usually don't like open world games, open world RPGs, from what I've, you know, experienced. But those ones I love. Maybe I have a bias for Final Fantasy. I don't know, but I cannot wait for that game. The next game that's coming out that I'm looking forward to after that is Resident Evil 7. Now, let me just get this out of the way. Holy fucking shit, this game looks good. Alright. That's done. But it's kind of funny. When it was first revealed for E3, I was actually, you know, it's funny, I was asleep at the time. And I woke up to my friend, like, texting me all sorts of things from the conference. You know, he's like, oh my god, they showed this, they showed that, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And, when you got to Resident Evil 7, first of all, my eyes bulged. I'm like, Resident Evil 7? Oh my god. And then he's like, and it's first person. I'm like, what? And he's like, it's going to be in VR. I was like, huh? Is this, what? So I went down to the computer, watched the trailers, and the gameplay reveal that they did, and I was like, huh, this doesn't feel like Resident Evil. You know, and a lot of people had that initial reaction to it. I was the same. I'm just like, this doesn't look like Resident Evil. And then there was a demo, so I was like, okay, let me play that. And I played the demo, and I said, this really doesn't feel like Resident Evil. I mean, it wasn't that the game was bad, but it was just, I was playing it, and I'm gonna just say, the sound design in beginning hour, on fucking point. Like, even though nothing happens in that demo, the little tiny sounds you would hear and the little bit of music you would hear every so often made you feel like something was going to happen, even when you knew it wasn't. It was so perfect. Playing with headphones, even after, like, I had already explored the shit out of that demo, playing with headphones again, like, re-creeped me out. It was so good. But, you know, playing it, I'm like, okay, this isn't bad, but did this have to be Resident Evil? Would this work as its own IP? And that was kind of the debate I had with my friend for a while. And, like, you know, and I started diving into the demo a bit more, like, you know, sort of like analyzing it, being like, okay, you know what, I can see the connection with the limited inventory. You know, you're exploring, you're going back and forth, finding items, using it on things to access other items. Words are escaping me right now. Here, see, this is why I'm practicing. But lost my train of thought. Okay. But, you know, I played it and I could see the hints of Resident Evil, but it still didn't really feel like Resident Evil to me, you know? But later on I changed my mind. And that didn't happen right away, because the next thing they revealed for it was the lantern demo, which, yeah, it was creepy, it was tense, but it was running and hiding, which, you know, that doesn't scream Resident Evil to me. The running, yeah, but the, like, hiding, I was like, it felt more like Outlast, is, like, the popular comparison. And they're right, it does feel like that. Because it's in first person, like, there's an emphasis on, like, cameras, like, camera perspectives, kind of. It's kind of weird like that. But I wasn't won over by that. Then they released the Baker's tape. Ooh boy, the Baker's tape. That's a good one. That one won me over. That's when they started tipping me from whatever, you know. I guess this is Resident Evil 2. Oh yeah, okay. This is Resident Evil. Gotcha. Because you see very brief glimpses of combat, and, like, some of the early trailers and, like, the preview images and stuff had people, you know, thinking this was more of a supernatural thing, you know, not helped by the fact that there was a freaking ghost girl in the demo. But a lot of people were thinking this kind of supernatural thing, so they were comparing it to, like, Resident Evil's PT or something like that. No, this one felt very much grounded, I guess is the right way to put it. Very much grounded in, like, the realness of Resident Evil. I say realness, but there's, like, you know, mutated enemies that walk along walls and have huge tongues. But you know what I mean. And, you know, watching the Baker's tape, I admit, at first I was kind of like, because there was this dinner scene that, at first I thought it was, like, straight up ripping off Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but, you know, repeated viewings, I kind of like it a bit more as its own thing. But yeah, that started winning me over. And then they released these volumes, which are these, like, 30 to 50 second clips. Like, I think the shortest one is like 20 seconds or something like that, and the longest is 50 seconds. But it's just these really short clips, and I think 6 is the latest one as of this recording, and there's going to be, like, a grand total of 10? Somewhere around there. And, like, they're just little, very, very, very short snippets, but oh my god, the second one. where they revealed not only a shotgun, but an item box and inventory management. Yes! This was so good! This was unbelievable. I was giddy when I watched that. I'm not even kidding. I was like fidgeting in my seat, like with this huge dorky smile on my face. I was like, oh my god, this is Resident Evil. It's actually happening. Like this isn't like its own thing. This is actually a Resident Evil game. Holy shit. And then there was another where they showed him, this was the latest one, I believe. No, yeah, it's one of the latest batches where, it showed him, like, getting a green or mixing it with some stuff and, like, healing himself that way. And his freaking watch is an EKG, which is the classic Resident Evil health indicator. Oh, it's so... Oh my god, it's so much an old Resident Evil being, you know, transferred to a newer age, kind of. I guess that's the right way to put it. It just looks so good. I can't believe it. And the producer, it's weird because we haven't seen the director doing interviews at all. It's all been the producer. And he's been evasive on answers, to say the least. Like, you know, they'll ask, oh, is there going to be any, like, bonus mode? Like say other games have mercenaries. And he would answer, like, you know, a lot of the games did have little online features like that, but this will be, you know, strictly an offline single-player game. You know, it's like, that's not what we're asking, though. And then in a different interview, he was asked about bonus modes again, and he kind of dodged the question. He said, you know, right now we're focusing on polishing the game. So just look forward to the main game being the best that it could be. And we're like, you're not answering questions. Oh my god, he's so frustrating. But he's leaving the tiniest teases, too. Like assuring that this does tie into the overall storyline, that this does answer leftover questions from Revelations 2, which admittedly I haven't played. I haven't played it. I don't know why. I liked Revelations 1 enough. I should like this one, but I don't know. I'm like hesitating to play it, I guess. But you know, and he says it ties into the main storyline. They focus on fear, and there will be multiple enemy encounters, but not like waves of zombies, but more like, you know, 2 or 3 enemies where, you know, if you're not careful, you're gonna die. And not limited saves, but a restrictive save system. Which, okay, one of the things showed that you save at recorders and save rooms. Makes total sense. But there's also autosaves once in a while that you can go back to when you, like, die. Which, okay, also makes sense. But depending on the way the difficulties adjust the saves, I might want to play this on the hard difficulty, because he did say harder difficulties will be less forgiving with saves. Because I actually kind of want to play this like old school Resident Evil, where you save in a save room and that is it. If you die, if you save in a save room, go outside, make an hour of progress, but then die before you remember to save again, you're going back to that old save. I'm going to play it that way. I'm going to play this as much of a classic Resident Evil as I can, because this looks and feels so much like a classic Resident Evil from everything they're showing. And they're having, like, you know, behind closed doors previews where with a bunch of people saying this is amazing, you know. And oh my god, I can't wait. It's going to be so good. Oh, it's going to be so good. And that's coming out January 24th, which is... Actually, I can look this up. I have a countdown app on here. I did say this wasn't going to be scripted. I didn't prepare anything in advance. Yeah, 85 days, according to my app. Which is not super close, but at the same time, it's close enough that I can get excited for it. And that's game number 2 I'm looking forward to. Game number 3 is Persona 5. Now, again, like I said, Persona 5 is already out in Japan. It was released September 15th, I want to say. My memory is telling me September 15th is when it was released in Japan. But we're not getting it in America until February 14th. Which, yeah, it does kind of suck. It's a 6-month delay, pretty much, between releases. But, you know, if you look at the previous Persona games, like 3 and 4 had like pretty much that close to a gap between the Japanese and English releases, so it's not unreasonable, honestly. If anything, they're doing this one kind of fast, which I imagine they are because, oh boy, Persona 5 looks so good. Like, this is going to be like one of the biggest games that Atlus has released in quite a while. And apparently there were some news sources saying that, you know, Persona 5 is like the best-selling Persona game of all time in Japan right now, which is awesome. It's amazing, and like, it looks so good from like trailers and stuff, and like things Atlus has shown, like little snippets of gameplay, and it looks so good. In case you guys don't know about it, in case I'm going a little too niche for you guys, Persona 5's about, yeah, because I know Persona is kind of a niche thing compared to like Final Fantasy or Resident Evil. But Persona 5's all about, you know, these teenagers becoming fans of things, which is such a cool theme. Oh, my mind was blown when I saw that first trailer. Like, because before that we only saw like a brief like teaser, which kind of like just showed the main protagonist like, hey, yeah, you know, this is in development, see you winter 2014, and then that didn't happen. But then early 2015 they dropped the full first trailer on us, which showed off the theme and like some of the characters, and it was just mind-blowing. It looked so cool, and it was like, they're actually doing this for a game. It's amazing. Like, everything I've seen just screams that this game is going to be so cool. And like, this is the game. Like the other releases, you know, cool. I'm waiting for them. I'm gonna play them a lot when they come out. But this game, I'm actually not even lying, saving up vacation days for at work so I can request that like weekend off, so that I could play this. I'm not even kidding. Like, this isn't a joke. This is me being serious. This is like the one game I am actually going to take days off of work from in order to play. It's that mind-blowing and important to me that I play this, because Persona 4 is an amazing game. Like, I have played that. How many times have I played that? Oh my god. Like, I have played it at a minimum like six times through. About that, yeah. I used to stream a lot a couple years ago, and like Persona 4 is like one of the regular games I kind of streamed, because it'd be like, you know, I'd be bored and be like, you know what? I feel like playing Persona 4 again. I'd boot it up and start playing that. And I played that game so much, and it's so good. But Persona 5 looks even better from everything I'm seeing, and from everything people are saying. It's so good, because they're saying it's going to be a darker theme too, like closer to Persona 1 and 2 in theme than 3 and 4, which, you know, 1 and 2 kind of dark compared to the happy-go-lucky 4. And, you know, 3 had this central theme of mortality and death. That's its main thing. And it still was kind of mostly bright sort of game. And then they're saying Persona 5's darker than that, and I'm looking forward to that. But I gotta wait another 100-something days for that to happen. And, you know, kudos to Atlus. You know, they've revealed the English cast for the main characters, and it looks pretty good. You know, not, you know, some of the choices I was kind of iffy on when I first read it. I was like, really, them? But they've released videos, you know, playing some of the voices, and they sound good. And I have faith in it, because Atlus usually does pretty good quality dubs. I know people are gonna, there's a lot of people still clamoring for dual audio in Persona 5, and I'm not against that, because the Japanese cast also does sound really good in Persona 5. But again, I have faith, because Atlus is not disappointed with their dubs before. I doubt they're going to start now, especially with such a sort of high-ish profile game like Persona 5. Like, Persona 5 has gained some mainstream traction compared to 4 and 3. I'm not saying that they're unheard of games or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying more people are aware of 5 now than they were of 3 and 4, definitely. I mean, I don't remember 3 and 4 being at, you know, E3. I could be remembering wrong, but I don't remember them having a big showing at E3. But but the last two E3s, Persona 5 has been there, and you know, people have been really excited for it. So I don't think they're gonna mess this up. I think it looks really good. I can't wait for it. Out of the three, it is the one I am the most hyped for. That I just want to play so bad. But we gotta wait. There's other games that could release in the meantime too, like Last Guardian's coming out. I don't even remember. For some reason, I want to say December. I don't remember the release date for that one. Because I'm not gonna buy it day one. You know, I'll buy it eventually because I love Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, but I'm not rushing out for that one. What else is releasing in the meantime? I don't know. I don't even know. It's like those three games are like all I'm focusing on right now. Because, you know, that's all I want to play. Like, those, I'll probably play like just those three games for like the next 6 months in my downtime. You know, not counting the channel stuff, obviously. You know, God, I hope in 6 months I'm not still playing Metal Gear Solid 3. Oh boy, let's not go down that rabbit hole. But all right, this is going on long enough. I think I've ranted and rambled enough. So that's gonna be it for this little bullshitting session with me sitting in front of this mic for, oh my god, like 27 minutes now. Oh my god. Hopefully when I get the chance, I'll do this some more between videos. And just, you know, let things off my chest. Let me vent about things, unwind, share my excitement, whatever it happens to be. Just whatever I feel like talking about at the moment, just to help me with this whole talking into a mic situation, because I still feel awkward about it. You know, how long have I been doing like these Let's Plays and like these, just in general, talking into a mic things, and I still feel awkward about it. So hopefully this helps. We'll see. We'll run this experiment for a while, see if it helps. But until the next video, guys, this is Dragon Eye 13 signing out. Persona 5 Hype.